Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We've been coming to you live from the Singapore Fintech Festival, and joining me for this segment we have Haiping Choo. He's the CEO of One Exchange, and we're going to take a look at Singapore's first regulated private securities exchange. Haiping, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And this is actually the first conversation that I've had where we're talking about private securities. How is One Exchange pioneering tradable private securities and also creating liquidity from an asset class that is not traditionally known for having liquidity?
Sure. So we are Singapore's very first fully regulated private stock exchange. Essentially, we allow private companies to list a portion of their shares and make it tradable among our investors. The Singapore Exchange is actually our key partner and shareholder, and so is Consensus, who is our key technology partner. What we do is that for every private company that's listed on our exchange, we actually have a digital representation of their shares on the exchange. And if there's any shares update in the form of a settled trade or share transfer, this is also reflected on the public Ethereum network. So basically, we have an online ledger of every private company that is listed on our exchange, and this is very important because it opens us up to the interconnectivity. So we interconnect with other Ethereum-based exchanges or Ethereum-based wallets, of which I understand that there are over 70 million account holders right now.
So this gives the average investor the opportunity to get into the private market because the shares are listed on a public exchange.
Yes.
So, which is great for the regular investor because it gives you another asset class to turn to, which is amazing. So you had mentioned Consensus before. 1X, you're built on the public blockchain, and that's what's connected you to all these digital wallets. Tell us more about that and how you work with Consensus on that.
So Consensus has been our key partner from the start. You know, they are a powerhouse in Ethereum, and Ethereum is one of the largest blockchain networks in the world with over 70 million wallet holders and the most mature and the most active network. So it was a no-brainer for us to be built on Ethereum because this allows us to create liquidity pools all over the world. So even though you are invested from Singapore, once your shares are tokenized by our exchange, you can trade easily with anyone from America, from Europe, from this part of the world. So it's the interconnectivity and the online ledger that makes it key for globalized trading.
All right, now to wrap up here, we've spoken a lot about blockchain enabled and how technology-driven One Exchange is, but you're also designed on commercial principles as well.
Yes, exactly. So for us, why we came up with this solution right now is because we see a great trend in the private markets. We see that globally IPOs have been slowing down. You know, the number of IPOs have decreased, but companies still need liquidity. They still need money to grow. They still need money to globalize themselves. The shareholders still need to sell their shares and monetize their shares. So what we decided is that, you know, instead of the typical IPO process, let's find a more flexible, a more cost-effective way to IPO, which makes it easier for them to have liquidity and global interconnectivity. And that's why we came up with One Exchange. The blockchain piece came in very nicely because if we were to design an exchange from scratch, it wouldn't take us very far. But the blockchain is a key component for us to interconnect with users all over the world.
All right, Haiping, thanks so much for joining us at the Fintech Festival. And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.